10 seconds in.
10 seconds
Yeah, about
in?
10 seconds in. So we can talk randomly for 10 seconds. Anyway, I think we're live now. Episode
12?
12. Okay.
On the 12th day.
On the 12th day of April.
That's actually a good one. I didn't think of that. That's
Yeah.
nice.
We should do some math on how often something like that will happen.
My brain just froze. I just literally froze thinking about like doing like calendar math live. I'm like, never mind.
Sounds like a good task for AI.
I feel like
Apparently, AI is not good with dates.
yeah, AI and dates. For sometimes you have to tell it that today is
Yeah, I guess
12th of April.
If it's been trained on his data from a couple months ago, it's frozen in time.
yeah.
I don't know if you saw the TikTok video about chat being asked to time a run, and it just makes up a random time.
The one I saw is asking Claude guess a number between 1 and 3, and I'll guess it, and he says, "Okay, I've guessed 3."
I can't when AI is still a toddler, because that's the kind of thing a toddler would do.
Like the kind of ways people are finding like gotchas, or should I have there's a car wash 2 seconds away. Should I drive to the car wash
Oh,
or
should I
walk?
walk?
It's like, dude.
Yeah,
Like I don't know if like obviously AI is stupid, quote unquote, or it's just spitting out patterns,
yeah.
and then like the highest probable pattern to continue on this conversation is what it's obviously now to put a lot of guardrails. You cannot say this, filter this out, and try this. So people try to find a way to circumvent
All the if else, if
all
else
this-
clauses.
They'll prompt the AI. AI says, "Yeah, I cannot say this." And it's like, okay, I know you cannot say this. What will be the response when you have said this? It's like if I was to respond to this.
Oh,
No, AI is crazy, but yeah, AI should help us with a lot of math stuff.
yeah. And
But a lot has been happening, though. A lot has been happening this week, and this was the week where I was like, you know what? Let me just chill back. Let me rest. It's a long Sunday, and then I'm like, nah, this is the worst week
yeah, to relax.
to relax.
To relax. Yeah, your boy has been. It's really taken his backroom deals, as Pierre calls them, to another level.
Man,
I have a theory.
okay.
He's essentially just setting the Liberals up for infinite election wins.
So a
'Cause
one-party system. Where,
That's what he's building. Because I don't imagine all the conservatives that have crossed over to the Liberal Party have all of a sudden just lost all their conservative values.
for those that don't know, one of the craziest floor crossings happened this week.
Yeah.
Gladu,
Yeah.
right?
Madam Gladu from Sarnia.
Yeah, from Sanya. And previously, she has spent all her career being a very, very staunch social conservative.
Very staunch conservative.
Like I saw some clips, like some faces, like she was always like thinking about, she was trying to even motivate the conservatives after their loss. That, just take away the stench, let's go fight for this, let's go fight for that. And then this week I see she's like, you know what, I'm all about equity, I'm all about I've changed, I've developed, I've evolved in my views. I was like, you know what, we should create space. Like, this is me
For
just saying,
evolution.
we should create space for evolution. Maybe you're not being a politician after a while.
See, she's the master of all gaslighters. Because she then comes out and says, this is what the people of Sarnia wanted. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? They were not in the rooms when you were making those deals.
Yeah, they were not in the rooms. I don't think Carney is going for a one-party system.
What is he going for?
I think he's going for he's trying to take Pierre out of the equation. Because if you look at the conservative landscape, literally Pierre is the only one that can pose a challenge to Carney.
Yeah, but Carney was supposed to be a transitionary
And I don't think it's Carney that's doing
Prime
this. I think
Minister.
it's just the liberal, like
party.
the party operatives that are trying to push this thing going.
Yeah, they're trying to. So yes, maybe they're trying to kind of push Pierre out of the Conservative Party by making it seem like he doesn't have his party under control.
Look, he
But-
doesn't have his party under control. Is what this is looking like. Like 4, 5 crossings. 4 of them have been conservatives. It's like 1 month, 1 crossing. How?
The crazy thing I was reading is like apparently they are talking to 8 other MPs about crossing. I'm like, so there's actually backroom deals being had.
I think there are backroom conversations being had.
Yeah, conversations, sure.
Because what deal would you give Gladu as a liberal? What deal would you give? Like, I don't think there's anything you could tell, like Madame Gladu, that would be like good for the Liberal caucus.
Yes, but in the season that Canada is in, Mark Carney doesn't have to go crazy progressive.
Okay.
There's no space for him to be crazy progressive right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like, it seems or it appears that the Conservatives will easily find a home in his Liberal Party for now.
For now, what social conservatives?
Yeah, no, but like Mark
Wait.
Carney's priority right now is how to get Canada back on the front foot.
Yeah.
That's all Conservatives care about
Yeah.
anyway. So right now there's a mutual benefit to kind of playing ball, which I get, but for me it's very short-sighted, and 2, it's unfortunate to the constituents that voted the Conservatives in, who are now crossing the floor, because now yes, Mark Carney is all about let's build this, let's build that,
Okay.
you know, all these different, at least he's saying it, he's not doing them yet, but
Yeah.
he's saying it.
Yeah.
So it kind of mirrors what the Conservatives are all about. So it makes sense. Well, you know, fast forward 3-4 years down the line, let's say Mark Carney is no longer the Liberal Party leader.
I think that's where you now have the problem. Everybody starts uncrossing themselves.
Yeah, but like, what is that flip-flopping all about? Like,
I think everybody start uncrossing themselves, and I think it's going to be fine. Like floor crossings is something that, and this is where unfortunately politicians and all the things you've voted for always comes back to you, because Pierre was one of the people that voted against
Floor
triggering an
crossing.
election after he crossed the floor and sticking to the British parliamentary
once
system.
again, short-sighted.
Again, fair, yeah. Like I think, but if this is the move Carney is going for, because I don't think he needs. He already has a majority. Like Monday, the election is going to happen. I think he's sweeping all 3 ridings. But
Yeah, at this pace, like what else is he get? Like, I mean, the writing is on the wall. The Liberals are going to have a majority.
but what I'm saying is, like, they did not need this
Floor
last
crosses.
floor
It's all
crossing.
connected. It's all connected. Like the whole floor crossing kind of gives that impression that there's something there, right? It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So he has really set himself. I don't know who is the mastermind behind it, but he has set himself up for a comfortable 4 years in power.
Yeah,
But beyond the 4 years, the Liberals are gonna stay in power for a while.
they will stay in power for a while. The Conservatives need to start being strategic. I think Pierre should step down as quickly as
And do
possible,
what?
because the longer you stay
The
and this
more damage you
continues,
do.
the more damage this does, and it's hard for the Conservatives to figure out who will be the next Pierre.
Yeah. So when he steps down, who is going to be the next?
They would have to go through this whole shuffle that they had with the Aaron O'Toole's, with the Andrew Shears, and so on and so forth. So
Yeah, well, Erin O'Toole was,
Yeah,
as
but I'm
his
saying,
last
like-
name implies.
this is O'Toole. But anyways, like the thing that I'm saying is, Pierre was like the hard part in this era. There needs to be another era that someone else comes in as the new Pierre that would take the Conservatives to be a strong opposition.
Yeah, but he steps down now, then, you know,
He stays on, even though with the 87% like mandate from the grassroots movement, the fact that your leadership of your caucus isn't behind you, it's going to be hard to just keep staying in it. If you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 MPs just saying, you know what, I'm leaving.
so, I mean, they need to do some sort of root cause analysis. Why are these people leaving? They need to really
The
pump
root
the
cause
brakes
analysis
and
is
figure
very-
out why these people are leaving.
It all points to leaders. There's Carney, there's Pierre, and then you also want to be in the government. These are things that Pierre cannot do anything about. So you're no government. You can't promise this guy is government because Carney has such a huge popularity rating that your whole MPs are looking at it like, even if there's an election next year, Carney has to mess up big time
Yeah.
for us to even see a chance of forming government as Conservative Party.
Yeah.
So they've done all the political calculations, and you would think for their political career, it's like, what does it mean that I've spent the last 10 years being a social conservative if it means more power in the Liberal Party, which is not
Yeah.
a good thing.
I'll say Mark Carney is probably, he's the right, so he's in such a position that the contrast between him and the Justin Trudeau era of Liberal leadership is so wide that it makes, I can see why I can see why his popularity is high.
Yeah.
Because he comes in, he looks like, or he speaks like the adult in the room.
Yeah.
And, like there's a good reason for him to be popular. He's talking about major projects and trade deals and all these different things, level-headed, not super progressive. So it's kind of a breath of fresh air for the Liberal Party, which has a natural kind of affinity for the general population.
Yeah.
So he's saying all the right things, and he's, in quotes, doing all the right things. So he has gained this super popularity. I want to know ahead of time, what's his plan after 4 years?
After 4 years,
Do you think that Mark Carney is trying to, centralize the Canadian government, political landscape? Because, it seems like he's bringing, for some reason, everybody's agreeing on some middle ground. He's not super liberal. He's also not, super conservative. But then, for some reason, he's able to bring people that are super conservative into... So, it's almost like, instead of it being, 4 different parties, we'll all just, come together under one big government.
super party.
Under Mark Carney.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that's what he's doing now. But I think in 4 years, if he decides not to run again...
I think he will run again in 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's setting himself up to run again in 4 years.
He's definitely running again.
Because if he doesn't run again in 4 years and we have another kind of
Did he
Justin
promise not to
Trudeau
run
as...
again?
I don't know, he came in as this kind of transitionary leader.
That's how
thing.
they all come in. If I don't do anything in 4 years,
Yeah.
I'm stepping down. In fact, I'm going to do everything I want to do in 4 years and step down.
Yeah, remember Joe Biden? He's like transitionary leader. And then at 82, he's still running for president.
Do you guys also think there's a world where, Canada is so, it feels so good for both, political leaders, but, especially for the people, where we give up the right to call another election?
That sounds like a very slippery
Do you know also what this sounds like? Literally, the Prime Minister of Hungary, Orban just literally got defeated after what? Decades? In power,
and he was super popular at the time.
He was super popular, and he just formed the way that there's no democracy. We have a democracy, but you would always elect me kind of democracy. Maybe Carney is trying to do that. It's but Carney is definitely smart. He was the first one to see that Canada is just riding on this wave of unity, where you have trucker convoys and environmentalists in the same party.
Hey, bro.
Under the same roof and going for one agenda, economic agenda. So, I think it's either smart politics or something just lined up for Carney, that he stepped in, and everyone, because Canada is behind this. No one, even though we're making a big deal of the fact that social conservative crossed, all of this edge partisan politics is not what is forefront for majority of Canadians.
Yeah, but if you think about it, Justin Trudeau, super progressive, super unpopular.
Also currently at Coachella.
Now, man, I don't know how we live with that guy as our prime minister.
No, the funny thing is the only thing that messes up my brain is just seeing him with a hat, just strolling around. Don't you have security guards? Don't you have shouldn't we protect? How the US protects their
nobody
president.
cares about Justin Trudeau. I can guarantee you that.
Isn't his son a DJ or an artist?
Yeah, musician.
But it's just so interesting just seeing. I don't know. I feel like other leaders are somewhere doing other things,
making big speeches and whatnot. So he was super progressive, but also super unpopular.
Yeah.
Now the country seemed
unpopular over time. He was very
initially he was
popular.
very like I said, the Liberal Party has a general affinity in Canada, like to the general population, like they have the upper hand
Yeah.
socially. He was then too progressive over a period of time. They're like, you know what, we actually need somebody who knows what they're doing,
Yeah.
and not just all about progressive ideas.
Yeah.
Now the tides were shifting towards Pierre, and then they pulled the rug from under him.
Yeah.
Partly because one, they were like, is this what the conservative leader is going to look like when they
Yeah.
see what's going
Yeah.
on down south? Like, I don't know if we want that, but if it's between
I
him
mean,
and Justin, we'll take him. And then
Mark
here
Carney.
comes Mark Carney. It's like, hey guys, I'm not progressive, I'm not conservative, but it's gonna be beautiful Canada. Let's make Canada great again.
Do you know, actually, in the Liberal convention in Montreal, he actually said something similar to making Canada great again. I'm like, but he used better and he used again. He used Canada and he didn't use great. He used better.
Mark Carney is the AI polished version of Donald Trump, as far as I'm concerned.
What?
Because once again, Donald Trump is neither liberal nor conservative.
Yeah, but Donald Trump is
He's
pay attention to this
wild.
matter.
Exactly. Donald Trump is just wild. That's all he is. But he's neither liberal nor conservative.
He's like, this is not a regime change.
Donald Trump is having a negotiation with himself right now. But anyway, but it's very similar. But nobody want anything to do with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But then there was now nobody here to fill that gap. Nobody wants the extreme right either, like all them Lindsey Graham
But-
and those kinds of people.
Trump literally
Came in,
goes,
entertainment
but the thing is,
guy.
like, Trump goes extreme right, and I don't know what he does on. He does. I don't think he even touches extreme left. How about that? But he just does. He weaves.
He weaves the web.
He weaves somehow. But Carney is different in the sense that he's always been more economic focused, and the time we are in needs an economic leader. I'm thinking about when JT got elected, because I believe I was like 2 or 3 years into Canada. Canada was fine economically. There was no
Yeah, because we're coming from Stephen Harper.
probably, but maybe we also had a good Carney as Bank of Canada governor to navigate.
please.
But anyways, like, we can defer on that. But
That's where I think McCartney, this is all just a front.
what?
Because McCartney is super globalist, super, all these WAF type behaviors.
Yeah.
So I feel like he has just parked that side of him because Canada cannot afford to go
No,
to that.
it's still international trade, world. Literally, he made these superpowers and
Yeah, we need to sell our stuff internationally. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
the Marcani that I heard of before, the deal with China where it was like 49,000, he would have been like, why not just flood our markets with EVs? Best of both worlds, globalist trade and environmentally friendly vehicles.
Maybe. But the thing I was saying, like, when Trudeau came, I just remember being in the university. Everybody he even did a speech at Ottawa U early on in our time at Ottawa U, and everyone was behind this guy. Such a young guy. I'm like, dude, it was an era where people didn't really care about the economics of his
He had
politics.
no economics. He was all about, I'm going to make my cabinet 50-50 and, I'm going to do this.
He was
all just progressive ideas. Immigration was going to go through the roof. Like, he did not have any...
Do you see, like, the NDP also released the immigration policy where they would just allow, they would just allow all workers to come in without any restrictions to any employees. Again, they will stop, they will remove the freeze that Carney has put. Instead of blaming workers, help people that are struggling with war-torn countries to also come in. And so like, Avi Lewis is already thinking about Justin Trudeau, like, on steroids.
NDP is never going to be a major force in federal politics
but-
because they're just clueless as to how life works.
No, I'm not even worried about the NDP in a lot of places, to be honest. Like, they're so. The only thing I would say is the by-elections that are happening tomorrow. There's an NDP, deputy NDP of Ontario that resigned from the NDP to now
Moved to
run for
Liberal,
the Liberals. It's also going to be. It's like the same week. Like, you have a social conservative coming in, you have a former NDP coming in. It's like, man, Carney is definitely uniting all parties. And then you have the House leader saying, you know what, we're not going to still stop working with other parties after we have our majority.
Let's see if he's able to attract some Bloc guys and some Green Party guys.
I think they will just win the Quebec by-election and just call it that. Like, the fact that you defeat the Bloc, even if they took you to court and you had the election there, I think
It's
that's
a
just
win.
it's a win. Basically, you reduce the Bloc's relevance.
Wait, sir, I have a question
Yeah.
on what's So you kind of mentioned earlier about like something that Pierre should do right now
Yeah.
is that he should step down.
Yeah.
Because like previously, before Carney came into the scene, he was basically like set up to be the next Stephen Harper
Yeah.
for Canada, and then unfortunately Donald Trump came into. So, are you basically saying that like it's like over for Carney? Sorry, it's over for Pierre,
It's over, man.
and he should just like
It's over. I don't
put up
see.
his boots.
I do not see. Don't get me wrong. Pierre's team is trying hard to rebrand Pierre.
Yeah, but that's the problem though. They're just very peer centric.
Yeah, and that's. But still, you need to rebrand Pierre in general. Even if Pierre was a good leader,
It's like the fifth rebrand this guy is doing. He went from wearing a suit and glasses to contacts and
chewing
t-shirts.
apples and then kettlebells, and next thing now, Mans is back to what we're going to be facing my economic like portfolio. But and I think the rebrand is good. Like if Carney wasn't this good, or if Carney wasn't this fortunate, or if everything
Carney
didn't just
wasn't this
line
popular. I
up.
think popular is the adjective you're looking
And
for.
I don't know if it's
Let's
popular.
not use good. Good is such a strong
Okay,
statement.
if everything did not line up economically, like America, China, the whole like USMCA negotiations, and was right for someone that was thinking not just locally in Canada to stop everything, but thinking about how Canada plays in the global economics, Pierre would have just easily won that election without good branding.
Yeah, Pierre was poised to win.
Yeah, but
Like-
then the issue now became, we got somewhat of what Pierre does in Carney, and we just have someone that has better
People are
branding.
just running away from. They did not want Canada to end up like the US.
I think it was just the brand. It was how Pierre was very, very strict in how he's going to approach his economics. Like literally everything he's doing is Carney, but Carney is a bit more, like charismatic with the economic statements that he's doing.
Carney has less of that abrasive.
Abrasive is the word, literally.
Which is why I'm
And now-
like, because of the Donald Trump super abrasiveness, they're like, this Pierre guy, if he comes in, there's the risk we run into
So
that problem.
to answer your question, yes, the reason I think is over for Pierre. They can try as hard as possible to rebrand, but this tactic, and I don't think it's Carney, the Liberal Party operatives, they are making sure it's over for Pierre. They're literally, because they know the Conservatives don't have anybody. So for the next 8 years, the Conservatives will be trying to find an identity, just the same way it was over for Jagmeet Singh. And the NDP for the next 8 to 10, which is crazy. Like I tell people, like my first election, I voted for Jagmeet Singh. Like, and
Jasmine Singh and Trudeau are like 5 and 6.
it's like
All they know how to do is fine boy, fine boy.
I'll never forget the day I saw that guy on TikTok.
Oh, what was he doing on
I
TikTok?
think it was like how to tie his turban
Yeah.
or something like
Always
that.
do something with his hair. Is that his?
Oh, you know what he reminds me of? There's this movie guy in Australia, like he does Aquaman. Forgotten, like there's Australian. Anyways, he has like the giant, like Anyways.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I think that's his Hawaiian.
Oh, he's
actually.
not Australian.
No, I don't think it's
I
Australian.
feel like he has acted too many movies from down south. I feel like he's Australian, man. But anyways, I may be wrong. But yeah, like I think like Pierre's the solution to this: step down, allow the party to find a new identity. Even whoever they elect won't
Pierre
be.
steps down. That's just the end of the Conservative
So
Party.
it's fine, but guess what? You make liberals start to implode faster.
Why? Because they have free reign to do whatever they want.
Exactly. You start to show. Everybody starts to
Yeah,
move
but then-
around.
This is where the whole Carney strategy comes in handy. He now has some checks and balances because they can't just go wild progressive. Now he has a bunch of conservative MPs in
Yeah.
his party that will fight back.
Fair, but I'm saying that tension would force Carney to do inside politics, because now Pierre's weakness is he's not able to do inside politics for his caucus. He's only able to do the populism and the popularity like politics, trying to get to the heart of the issues for everyday Canadians, which is fair. Like again, these are the things that he's been talking about: the inflationary spending of COVID. He's been talking about how we can get things to work. That's all like populism and like making everybody. But
How
you're
is
doing
that popular? That's just common sense. If you
Fair.
if you spend more than you make, or if you buy more than you sell, you're gonna go broke. Like, that's just
Which
basic
is fair,
common
and
sense.
everybody that is thinking common sense in the population would agree with him. But the issue is, you're not dealing with common sense politicians in inside politics. You're dealing with really, really crazy, not crazy, but very, very staunch politicians.
Yeah, people that have their own angles
They
and
have
whatnot.
their own
Yeah.
angles. They're thinking about their own careers, not necessarily Canadian economics. They're thinking about how to position themselves, what next. These people are spent. People that are crossing. They're thinking, man, I've spent 10 years in politics. Maybe I've made a good salary.
Oh, maybe they make good salaries.
Yeah, I've made good salaries. I have good benefits, but I've done nothing.
You've represented your constituents. How is that nothing?
I don't know if they will classify representing constituents as a lot, because one of the talking points they're using to like hype up Gladu is the fact that she has passed 2 private member bills, and it's like even just passing 1 private member bill is an achievement for any politician. That this is a really good astute politician that has passed 2 private member or multiple private member bills, which is interesting.
What is a private member bill?
So the private member bill, usually like the bills come in as a from the government. That's how bills usually come in, and there's like once or twice, I don't know if it's every week or every parliamentary sitting, that it's open to individuals to be able to bring up a bill to the speaker
Yeah.
and then get a consensus and pass that bill. So sometimes, even though the government is not going to listen to anything that the conservatives want, the only way conservatives can present bills is through private member bills, right? Or trying to get some coalition to get things going. Usually it's the government that presents most of those bills, is my understanding over time. But yeah, she has been able to like gather support, because the people that are crossing over have spent years in years in parliament. They have had their careers in parliament, so they already have friends. The only one the NDP was new. The NDP was a rookie, like politician. She was like 1 year in Ottawa, I believe, or a couple years in Ottawa. I don't know actually. But
You know, one way Pierre can actually rebrand, as you were talking, the idea just came. As Marcani is, just blatantly stealing all his ideas,
yeah,
Pierre should really be promoting the fact that his ideas are just being taken up. And instead of being antagonistic, just be like, we welcome this. And then maybe he can do like a video series where he flashes back to when he was talking about it and how now Marcani is talking about it and doing it. And just keep that going for a while.
but still, it just Machkani has never shied away from the fact that he wants to work with all the parties and
Yeah,
the
it's
ideas.
okay. Yeah, so the challenge I'm having is, if Pierre steps down, there's just a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum.
Yeah,
It just like it's not going to be a good thing for the Conservative Party, nor for Canadians.
yeah,
Because the more we get to this uni party, there's going to be less representation that's truly representative of the population.
yeah.
It's just going to be a bunch of liberal elites
yeah,
just
yeah.
making up
Signing.
stuff and signing bills and doing whatever.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Canada will look very different from what it looks like today. Which, anyway, it's like it does need to look different, but not in that way. So, I think Pierre should stay, but he needs to figure out a different messaging approach.
The only way Pierre stays and can hold on to power, he needs to become socially conservative. Because all these economic things, Mark Carney has just swept it for the next 4 years, or he would just lay low, and whatever he needs to do with inside politics deals, make sure all his guys, nobody leaves. What do you need to make sure that nobody leaves anymore?
Then he starts to sell pieces of his soul.
Dude, it's inside politics. If you're not able to lead, then that's why I'm saying I'm not telling you to step down because you're not good or you don't have good ideas. I'm just saying, like, the people that you're leading, the party that you're leading, not just the grassroots support you, but your caucus needs to be lined up at your back. And they're literally waiting and just looking, please, who has better deal for me? I switch. Like, you need to turn back and be like, yo, what do we need for all of you to stay put?
So what is Gladu actually getting out of this?
I think just the fact that is pushing, I don't even think she cares about Carney. I think all these people are leaving to just light a fire under Pierre. I think this is more of a come around way. The next, do you know who I think will leave next? Which might be hard. Okay, this is like crazy conspiracy from my perspective. Dr. What's her name? Lewis.
Jewish-
Dr. Lewis.
Oh,
like the black social conservative lady that
Yeah.
has also run for election before, might also, like I'm saying, all these heavy hitters will start to leave, and eventually the soul of the party is also empty.
Yeah.
Like,
I
but the
don't
thing,
know.
if Pierre leaves and steps down, creates a vacuum for election. Everyone that runs for election can't just leave because you're running for a conservative election.
Why not? Like, what's stopping them? Like, let's say somebody else wins. What stops the rest of them from just
Because
defecting?
it's going to that definitely hits your career differently. Although Glado ran for election, but she just did like a 2 week election campaign and stepped down during Pierre's time. But I think that's what's saving the NDP, because I feel like a lot more NDPs would have left after Avi Lewis won.
After he won?
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of, like, the 6 MPs or 5 MPs, a few of them could have left. But the issue is most of them were running election camp. You can't just come and run and hype off the NDP and then
spend NDP money and then and then deep.
and then deep, right? So yeah, like, I think it's over for Pierre. I think 4 MPs, and now they are eight. They're thinking about poaching 8 more. Damn, like, at this rate, step down. You know, like, the guns are out. Literally, this is how the guns come out in politics. Oh yes, I have an 87% mandate from the grassroots. All right, okay. You still don't want to talk to us? Somebody starts resigning. Okay, you still don't want to talk to us? Somebody starts moving around. You still don't want to talk to us? 4 of your MPs have gone.
It's time for Pierre to bring back that legislation where you want to switch parties immediate by election.
Yeah, it's not going to fly anymore.
Why?
At that point, you might step down, because this is something you voted against.
Yeah, but now he's seeing the repercussion, and there needs to be space for evolution, right? Now his point of view has evolved.
His point of view has evolved, or is paining him where he thought it would never hurt him.
Yeah, like, it's actually wild how many people are switching over.
Yeah.
More importantly, like, the people who voted them, they're just the most disrespected in all of this.
I don't know if the people that voted them, like, would really matter in 4 years.
Well, they have to, because the people, you know what's crazy? The people who voted them not just for them to be in power, but against Mark Carney being the leader. Like, do you get, like, if more conservatives won, Pierre would have been the prime minister. That's why those people are voting for these people.
Yeah.
So it's a real disservice to them. Like, it's like they lost on both ends of the, like, they don't get their conservative MP now. They also end up with a liberal prime minister.
Liberal prime minister with majority, and also too, it's only Glado's situation that is a bit tricky, because she actually had a majority conservative win. Her margin was wide.
Oh yeah.
All the other floor crosses were tight margin, so it was interesting. And also, another thing I would say is Carney is picking up diverse conservatives, which is interesting.
I don't care how diverse his pickups are.
You go
like,
from Nova Scotia, conservative pickup. You go to Alberta, conservative pickup. Go to Ontario, conservative pickup. At this point, go to Quebec, go to Saskatchewan. In fact, go to BC, pick up some
NDP.
more. Like, literally, that's to tell you that it's not necessary. I don't even think what would help Pierre is if an NDP crosses next. Literally, then it's not a Pierre thing. But at this rate, if it's just only one NDP,
yeah, but how many NDPs are there to
but at
cross?
least one more should cross before another conservative crosses. That way, it shows that it's not just a conservative thing; it's more of a United Canadian, like, approach to this. But it's unfortunate. Like, I'm not super stoked about the majority in general. Like, I think Carney has been doing good without a majority. That I'm
He
not
hasn't
sure.
done anything, please.
Come on,
He
like,
has said a lot of things that he will do. Now that he has the majority, maybe we'll start seeing some action.
No, the funny thing is, like, they were in Montreal this weekend for the Liberal convention, and they also were able to also start expanding the Montreal port for exports and imports, which is, they were asking, I think, House Leader, like, on, I think, CTV today, why did it take you 7 months to go from announcement to execution of? It's like, I don't look at it that way. I look at it like it actually just took us 7 months, in the sense that it was quicker. Like, instead of previous years where it would have taken them multiple years, they've shortened it to this. But still, 7 months is a lot, and they are now expanding the port to have more exports, imports, and trade from Montreal.
Quebec is gonna be full on open for business if I forget what's her name. If
The Liberal leader.
Yeah, if she gets her way with is she liberal? Christian
No,
Fresh
no, no, no.
Frechette.
Christian Freshett is on the CAQ. She's
Yeah,
replacing Lego.
yeah. Well, she's opening Quebec up for shale gas fracking. She's open for business. So, um, yeah, maybe those 7 months will be even reduced a bit more once she's up and running.
That would be interesting. But yeah, like again, Quebec. Sure. Let's see how. I think they're actually down in the polls with the CAQ. I don't think the elections coming up later this year she's going to win. But hey, you never know. What I've learned in the last year, a lot can happen overnight. Like politics, the whole politics game has changed. Now think about this. What would happen when another party, if they can eventually become majority, or even another party that wins a minority, can now start doing all these deals again? Like normalizing floor crossing,
No,
I
no,
don't think
no.
is
We should
good.
not normalize it.
But hey, conservatives come in, maybe a slim majority, and then next thing do backroom deals, get multiple majorities.
Even if the conservatives come in, I don't want them to do these backroom deals. Like,
Fair, fair,
I feel
fair.
like what might happen again is something that we see happen in something that's happening in America, like in the Democratic, I guess, like Party of America, where like you start to see factions of
yeah,
like under the same party. So like it seems like things are just like swinging in a pendulum where like everybody's coming together into like one big umbrella, but then at some point when things start to settle, just like how like people got too used to Harper's government,
Yeah.
and then we now found something to be angry about, and then formed like a movement around that. So I feel like when the dust settles and Canada's economy like gets back to where it was before or like better, then we'll find something else. And I feel like that's where you start seeing those factions again. Liberal Party will probably start breaking
Yeah.
down.
yeah. That's why I said they should start asking Mark Carney, "What's your plan after 4 years?" They should start asking him that question because we need to know. Like, is he planning to stay longer? If then, what's his vision for those next 4 years? I'm sure he's gonna give some political answer, like, right now I'm just focused on these 4 years and getting Canada.
But I think to your point, Danny, like you were saying that the factions, I think that's what Pierre was not able to handle. If you're going to have a big majority party, you need to be able to appease every small group inside your party.
Yeah, but what are the factions in Canada?
Like I mean, like in the
Let's look at the
conservatives, you have
Conservative
like the
Party,
social
like-
conservatives, you have the progressive conservative, you also have the like just libertarian, just down the middle kind of conservative. Making sure all those people are represented in your critique is something that you should do. I think in Trudeau's era, he was just lucky to have a majority of unified people. So there were a lot more just people that were willing to just stand behind the whole progressive movement. Carney might be able to manage people that are coming for an economic Canada agenda, but still have different social progressive. Because think about, remember, like it was the climate change guy that stepped down once we signed the MOU. I've forgotten what his name is. He doesn't even show up on my radar anymore.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what his name was. Stephen Guilbeault.
Was
Yeah,
it-
Guilbeault,
Guilbeault,
yeah. He stepped down. But did he leave the party? No. Like he's there. Like he's just like probably like a voice in the caucus, but his Carney probably knows how to. It will become a problem if Carney needs that wing of the party, and which has been disrespected for so long for an economic agenda, and they are not able to bring them in, and they start causing problems.
Maybe Abby
internally.
Lewis should start poaching some liberal MPs.
But then, what do you have to offer?
Yeah, that's the question.
No,
What do you have to-
no money in the
Well,
NDP.
hopefully they'll cross over based on their conscience.
Offer you sleep, not sleepless night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I offer you sleep, not sleepless night. I offer you to do nothing, literally, but just keep shouting and representing
Yeah.
like the minority of Canada, which is interesting. But anyways, shout out to Carney. I don't know. Let's see. What do you think will happen tomorrow for the by-elections?
I agree that it's going to be a sweep. Like, they're going to win all three by-elections.
That'll be interesting. Let's see how it goes. I think so too.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless of what happens, there's no real impact to anything. So
It doesn't change much.
it doesn't change anything.
Doesn't change much. But yeah, what else do we have to go through today? Canada wants to join the EU, or majority
Yeah,
of
I'm like,
Canadians wants to join the EU.
that's one thing I'm glad Mark Carney actually spoke up and shut it down pretty quickly. I'm like, what where is that coming from? The United Kingdom left the EU. I'm like, why are we now going to go hitch our tent there?
Also, the United Kingdom wants to have like a partnership with, like, trade partnership with Canada.
I'm sure they do. We have a lot of things to sell them.
Yeah, because I know, like, once you're outside of that EU trading bloc, it becomes a bit tricky to have trade relations. But yeah,
Yeah, because it's too restrictive. Like if we go then join the EU, then we just get our hands cuffed in another ridiculous
it would be
regional.
nice to just have like cheap flights. Will we get a cheap flights?
No,
No.
we won't.
We won't. Okay, then why are we getting?
They're still crossing the Atlantic.
No, my own is I just want to be able to just go cheap. Like, you know how they have was it the Ryanair or?
There's a lot. Eurojet, Ryanair.
Wow,
There's
they
a
literally
lot.
have Uber for airplanes. There, you just tap the
Legit.
phone, you enter and go. Like, that's the only thing I think is cool about the EU. Transportation is just snappy. Or maybe
Yeah,
it's
but
just
the
ignorance.
cost of our transportation in Canada is self-inflicted.
Yeah, but I'm thinking if you're part of the EU, they would impose and remove those inflictions.
Nah, but like I mean, organizations like NAV Canada and Transport Canada and all these different.
But once you become part of the EU, all those things really start to
I don't think
dissolve.
so.
They can Ryanair can come and set up his own base here and
Yeah,
give
but
us-
then they set up here, but they're subject to those fees and taxes and whatnot that
Really?
we impose.
like if you're in the EU, can you still have your own?
Yeah, because I mean,
Paying.
if you're in Canada and you're paying Canadian fees and taxes, what stops us from billing?
Interesting.
Even the US has cheaper flights than Canada, so like it's not even a EU North America thing. Like this is very self-imposed in Canada. Like half the price of any flight ticket you're buying is fees and taxes.
Yeah. And now with all the gas wars, the price just be going all
Yeah.
the way up. Like all my travels are like,
Yeah, some of them. WestJet is adding surcharges, I think.
Hello.
Yeah,
interesting.
so
So okay, yeah, I mean, currently shut down the idea. So no EU for you.
yeah, like that's not a smart idea.
It's like going from the 51st state to the,
You know, I mean, there's the only argument you can make is that we're still subject to the king, but outside of that, I'm like, please, that's not a great idea. Let's fix our problems at home.
fix the talking about problems, actually, you sent this the pipelines Enbridge.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the interview. The guy.
No, I didn't see the interview.
This is
What did
where
you-
this is where I'm saying that McCartney talks a lot, but it's not doing. It was like, hey, Enbridge is ready to build the pipeline, and 1 million barrels per day will flow through. And the interview was like, well, what of all these things that they're like, no, the things are not in place for us to do that. And they're like, what of this? It's like, no.
Interesting.
Yeah, there is no actual movement. One, the MOU is just words.
Yeah.
Nothing has happened.
So
All the
government is
environmental
just moving
restrictions
all
and
the
regulations,
goalposts for.
they're just moving the goalposts. But the Enbridge CEO was like, if they're ready and they clear all these restrictions and barriers that prevent us from building, like we're ready to go.
That's
1 million barrels per day.
So yeah, so basically here proposing pipeline capacity of 1 million barrels a day, 20% of, making Canada's, I think, I don't know if it's a realistic, so in this economy, I think we should clear we should clear everything that's happening, but obviously Carney probably wants to have everything controlled or still, because that's one of the things that they also did with the Montreal ports. They were hyping up the fact that, look, like these ports have been still going through environmental assessment. They were doing all of these things. So I'm pretty sure like Enbridge is like, look, I don't want to come and be doing 10 years of environmental assessment on something that is not guaranteed. And then you now spend 7 months doing environmental
He
assessment.
actually in the interview he highlighted it. He was like, the last time that he got his investors to invest in the pipeline,
Yeah.
and then the rug got pulled from under them, all that money lost. Like he can't go back to those investors and ask them for money again. So he actually referenced that. It's like you cannot keep saying one thing and then doing another, or you say, oh yes, we'll support this, and then they invest money and start building, and they're like, nope, not anymore.
And it's very expensive to build some of these pipelines. Although like 1 million barrel a day would pay for itself over time.
Well, yeah, the private sector does not do charity work. Like they're going to invest the money because they know there's going to be a return on that investment, right? They're not trying to build high speed rail.
Oh, come on, high speed rail is a crown corporation that is also useful in a lot of ways, right? Like it's not something that we should. I don't think it's. I don't know why they hate for the high speed rails.
Nobody's hating it. It's like one, it's never going to be profitable.
Yeah,
Just from a dollars
transportation
and
is not
cents
a
standpoint.
profitable venture.
Transportation can be profitable.
Nah. Like when we're
Ask
thinking
the
about
CEO of Air Canada and WestJet.
yeah, but
Transportation can be profitable.
that's not a crown corporation
Yeah,
transportation.
when the government is not doing business, transportation can be profitable. Now the government is trying to build this high-speed rail. And trust me, from a personal, like, selfish point of view, I'm all for having fast transportation from Toronto to Quebec City.
Yeah,
But as a taxpayer, like, why would I give you $1 and then you're like, you know what? Thank you for giving me this $1. Now I'm going to spend it on something there's just no return on investment.
Yeah.
Actually, you're gonna have to keep paying me $1 every year in taxes to keep this thing alive. Like, what's the point? Like, Via Rail is barely alive. It's standing on half a leg at this point. And then it's not like you're gonna decommission Via Rail. It's gonna be there.
yeah, it's still going to be there.
You now add
still
high-speed
another
rail.
high-speed rail.
90 billion to build, and then the cost of operating, maintaining all of those things will never be covered by the
fees, the
fees,
fares,
the
and-
tickets and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
So what's the point?
I mean, the point is, I don't know. Every time I say this, it sounds
it's
cliche.
productivity.
Exactly.
Yeah, productivity. What people can fly, please.
Yeah, but people can fly, but still, like, you have to go to the airport. You have to wait 2 hours, 1 hour, just to get a 30-minute flight
Come.
versus showing up at the station, like, and just entering the train, going to your destination, so on and so forth.
There's checking in online.
Yeah, even if you check in online, you still have to like find a way, like, to wait
like,
there just in case.
Do you think that the average Canadian, because like again, this is not like a provincial like initiative; it's a federal one, right?
Yeah.
So like, do you think like the Canadian that lives in BC would mind paying more in taxes eventually because of this high speed rail in Ontario?
Even if they don't benefit from it. It's their tax dollars too.
That's a fair one. I mean, luckily it's happening.
BC,
in
Alberta, Saskatchewan,
But then,
all the territories.
There's also things that federal does in all those provinces.
Yeah,
Like
but
the
how many of them are gonna cost hundreds of billions of dollars?
pipeline to start with. Then
The pipeline will, to an extent, benefit everybody across the board.
to an extent, right? They like even in like all the most of the trade deals that they do, or like the housing initiatives, or some of their like there are a lot of things that government over time has spent and invested in those provinces. Obviously, Ontario, Quebec, 50% of the population. So again, it's balanced out at the end of the day, like proportionally. One
Yeah.
thing I think why I'm trying to hit on the idea of productivity is if you're thinking about the real GDP of Canada, it's suffering. Like the ability to have GDP per capita, looking at it across the world, like we're negative in some cases.
I mean, there was the article this week about if you live in Ontario, let's say you live in Windsor versus Detroit,
Yeah.
or in somewhere in Ontario, Quebec versus in New York. The Canadian, somebody living on the Canada side of the border,
Yeah.
is 30% to 40% poorer than their equivalent
Wow.
US side.
Yeah, so I think productivity can unlock a
Yeah,
lot of
high
this.
speed rail is not going to fix that problem.
But it's not, see, high speed rail is not fixing the problem. Fixing productivity problem, anything that fixes the productivity problem would help in ensuring, like even just ensuring that like people can do stuff across the because one of the things that's beautiful about Canada is just the landmass, the vastness of it. Having people being able to do projects, do businesses, do deals across the vastness of it is going to help increase like productivity, even maybe 3, 4, 5%. Now,
Why don't they
high-speed
just
rail,
like reduce the cost of flying.
Yeah, thank you. Like solve a problem. Don't create
that.
new problems. Decrease the cost of flying. Fix VRL. Like
Never know.
See,
Carney
you know
might
what?
remove.
Take that $100 billion and just give it to VRL. It's like, hey, you guys are struggling. Here's $100 billion to fix your.
I think VRL is struggling because it's running on the same rail that CN rail is running on.
Okay, give them the $100 billion to fix it.
Because it's like
Anything.
because I think that rail mostly was set up for goods
Yeah.
to move across. People started moving on the lanes, which is fine, but a lot of people, the amount of people that are using the service for trying to get to somewhere quickly is pretty not what it was set up for. It was pretty set up for the same level as planes in some sense. It's like this is not something that you just blink of an eye, you're in your destination, right? Having something like that, major countries have this. This is something I think they should think about a way to reduce it, or think about ways in the age of technology. Someone is gouging us for 100 billion. Someone is gouging us. Like 100 billion doesn't make sense for a high-speed rail in 2026. There's AI, y'all. I'm not saying that we should use AI to build the rails, but I'm just saying like things should be a lot efficient in how 100 billion. Yeah, is not an easy number to just swallow. Because I'm not sure whose taxes are going to be going up for.
Yeah, man, I really don't think that's the correct place to be spending that amount of money.
I mean, do you think like federal government just be printing 100 billion and just? Oh no, actually, what Carney said is, in the budget there's allocated about what 500 billion for investment or like capital investment.
This is not an investment. You guys threw this word investment around. This is not an investment. This is just open the toilet. 100 billion flush.
Well, so they open the toilet.
Because like if you want to talk about America and like what they're doing, obviously there's like so much more people and like their population isn't concentrated in just like one part of their country, but the like super productive people are people that are able to like quickly and easily fly from coast to coast like multiple times a month and like not have that be a big deal. Because like there's people that like basically, and like I know of multiple people that live like in LA and New York like at the same time. Basically they work in New York and live in LA and they're able to go back and forth, and that's only possible because of how inexpensive it is to fly.
Yeah.
They don't have high speed rail.
They don't have high speed rail, but also too what we don't have is access to good airport, like airports.
$100 billion fix that problem.
Maybe put an airport in every village.
Create competition, like
a small, or invest in a lot of planes to just take off from smaller airports, which is probably what Toronto airport is doing. But Toronto has like 2 airports already, right? So we need to find ways. Ottawa airport is also being on there. I actually don't know what is with Ottawa airport.
so underutilized.
It's underutilized. I'm like, what is the problem here? Like, why is it the roads, the infrastructure, the way to get to the airport is just not efficient?
Hey, we have $100 billion to spend fixing this problem.
I think spending on the rail, spending on other problems is good. Obviously, we need to choose. We just cannot have unlimited wants with limited resources. I think everyone was on board with high-speed rail. This just became a problem because 1, maybe the 100 billion, and 2, because people are like wanting to oppose the government.
No. Like, I don't think the price tag was always there.
The price tag was not always there as 100 billion, but think about it. Like, we're talking about people having to do things in other parts of just going from a Quebec city to Toronto. You might never live in these cities. You might live in other rural areas, but having that direct line to do things like that, it's going to be so monumental. And I also don't think we've had a lot of areas where people can land planes or take off from planes in like, for example, the Toronto airport is very small planes. Ottawa airport, flying back and forth, it's actually a very fast flight. Like, what?
Yeah, it's 20 minutes from Ottawa to Montreal by flight.
Yeah, 20 minutes,
And
30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yeah, 30, 40
the issue
to Toronto.
is just the getting to the airport, because these airports are not easily. Only Toronto airport is actually, and also Toronto airport is actually
road,
in
you
a
have to get to the
ferry.
place.
No, high speed rail has multiple stops. That's the
No, but the idea for the Alto was you go Quebec City to Montreal, Montreal to Ottawa, Ottawa to somewhere and then
Yeah,
to
but you
Mountain.
could also have multiple stops for off like peak hours or off peak hours and so on and so
Then that's
forth.
no more high speed.
No,
Yeah.
high speed is just the speed at which is going between the stops, right? Like their
If
rail
you-
is capped at 100
essentially,
kilometers
this is
an
making
hour.
it worse. Even
Yeah.
like if you're saying it's just regular train,
No, it's-
that's just fast.
no, exactly.
I'm like, please,
It's high.
let's just
speed,
kibosh this thing.
It's high speed rail. Like, what do you think high
No,
speed
no,
rail
no, no,
is?
no.
No, high speed rail is like I should be able to go from Saskatoon to Ottawa
No, yeah, these are like
in
how
like
many
2
provinces?
hours.
Do you know Saskatoon? You're passing Manitoba. You're passing like
Okay, sure, Manitoba to Ottawa.
in 2
Manitoba
hours
to
is
Toronto.
wild.
Because you're now solving multiple
10x in the
problems.
speed.
2 hours.
Because that's the thing though. It's like either do that or make flying cheaper or like add more rails for
You know
via
what?
rail.
Maybe do what Doug Ford was saying: build a tunnel and put the high speed.
Hyperloop. Let's get Elon Musk in here.
Nah, G, there's no Elon Musk in Canada anymore.
No, because like I think that's even another thing because that would solve another problem of just like the concentration of people in a specific part of the country. Because like if you have 50% of people living in like
Quebec and Ontario.
living in like a finite amount
Okay.
of space, you start to get the
Prices.
problem of prices, real estate, just like living expenses in
Yeah.
general. But if I can live in Manitoba and I can reliably access Toronto or Ottawa like very quickly and very cheaply, then there's nothing stopping
that's
me
how it
from living
starts.
in Manitoba.
No,
Start
no.
with high speed rail.
No, it's
You
just going
start
to
by
bring more
fixing
people.
The problem.
It's just going to bring more people to the overpopulated places.
Like high speed rail is going all the way to Quebec City, right? So basically, you're able to get rural people from outside of rural Quebec to get to the train station.
All of that is still Quebec, and all of
Yeah.
this side is still Ontario. So
True. Maybe high speed rail should have been, but still, again, you spend 100 billion in Saskatchewan. It's like, bruv, you better make sure that 100 billion is is being paid for properly. But yes, the price tag is crazy price tag. I think in an age of technology, this should be a lot cheaper. But
in an age of technology, people should just work remotely, please. if your real selling point is productivity, work from home.
work from home is like the craziest response to high speed rail. And then we'll see how it goes. But yeah, what else do we have in this EVs? Again, Chinese EVs.
Still waiting on them. We need to see how
No,
they handle the cold in Winnipeg.
Oh yeah. I saw that. I saw like they had already like they finalized like the dealerships this week. I think like they mentioned that they like about 12 dealerships opening up for Chinese EVs.
We're in Ontario and Quebec.
Probably going to be obviously Ontario, Quebec, maybe BC, but
Actually, BC will make sense.
yeah, BC will, because
Yeah.
there's already like a lot of infrastructure and people there that would match that. But yeah, Ontario, BC, Quebec is what I'm thinking. But winter, but everybody has an EV problem when it comes to winter. Like I've been driving around, it's been warm, and I've not had to charge my EV that much.
Yeah, when it's warmer, when it's cold, you lose 20 to 40% of your
Yeah, because it's trying to hit the battery
yeah.
and keep the battery warm even during charging and so on and so forth. But if Canadian EV batteries, if Chinese EV batteries are not ready for, but China, isn't it cold in some places in China?
Yeah, it can get up to -40 in some places.
Maybe those places
high
don't have-
Yeah, well,
latitude.
those places are not the
Shanghai,
Yeah, they're not Shanghai, Beijing,
yeah.
Hong Kong. They're not the high density places where you'll actually see.
Those places get like as I think it says as low as like 5 degrees, so it's not very cold.
Interesting.
Although there was the in Norway, there's this benchmarking exercise where they did test 26 EVs
Okay,
in the cold weather, because Norway is
that's pretty cool.
maybe
yeah.
colder than Canada. Who knows? The top 6 performing EVs were Chinese. So
There's always something to learn. Maybe we should take that and start to figure out why.
oh no, sorry, 6 of the top 26 were Chinese, something like that. Anyway,
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, anyways. Well, yeah, EVs are coming in. Probably get some. Trading your
no,
your EV
I
for
need.
a Chinese.
I don't. You know, when they're talking about that curve of early adopters and whatnot, I mean, I like to wait and see.
You wait and see adopt.
I'm a wait and see early adopter.
That's crazy. Okay. I think we can wrap up with this. The oh no, two we can do like the Artemis 2.
Oh, Jeremy Hansen
Yeah, Jeremy
is
Hansen
back on Earth.
back on Earth. What do you think about the whole like? It was not even a moon land. I actually thought it was a moon landing.
No, that was just window shopping.
That was literally just. It makes me question. Doesn't it make you question like? Was there ever a moon landing then?
Lol.
No, I'm just asking, just cause.
Is the Earth flat?
No. The Earth is not flat. That one we saw the pictures. Oh, we know that you can go up there and take pictures. Was there always a moon landing? Is what, ma'am? Because if we cannot land confidently, we've done one mission with robots to
Yeah,
first of
it
all
was
go and do a
unmanned.
flyby.
Yeah.
We've done a manned mission now to do a flyby. We can't still land. And did something happen that we don't know about?
How did we land? How many decades ago?
How did we? Literally, there was no AI when we landed, yo. There
So-
was no AI when we landed.
Yeah, apparently, all the articles that I've read, nobody actually gives a real reason why they did not land. It just says because they did not need to,
They did not need to.
and they're
Wow.
coming back.
And they said, "Oh, we're going to the other side of the moon where no one has been to." I'm like, "Yeah, no one has been to. Please go back to the side where you
Where you've been
landed,
to
so
and
we
land."
can see the flag that you planted there too 50 years ago." Because I like personally, you're not making a good case. If you have all the technology, you have all the artificial intelligence, you're able to set it up and go. You've done an unmanned mission, and then you're just going to do a flyby and come back. That sounds like wastage of gas for me, man.
And money, man. Like, you know how many millions of dollars went into that thing?
Apparently, they're going back
For
like
three
next year.
to
yeah.
land.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to.
So
it's-
this was like part of like a multi-stage.
exact. So now think
mission.
about this. They had 3 stages just to land in 2027. In 1950, Obi, when was the last time they landed? Because I know it has to do with what?
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Did they not just use one mission to just get it? How many missions did they use to land in 1950?
1969.
1969. How many missions did it take them for the Apollo? Okay, it was the Apollo 2. So there was an Apollo 1 mission.
No, 11.
Oh, Apollo 11. It took them 11?
No, that it's not the count. I think it's just like that's just the name.
Oh, okay. But how many missions did it take them to land the moon? If it was a one-shot thing, then they either had AI then and we don't have AI now.
I think it was 7. I'm looking at 17. There was Apollo 17 in 1972, which was the final one. The total cost of all of those things was $20 billion, I guess, in 1970 dollars.
97
I was about to say,
$20 billion.
Oh,
That's
I think
crazy.
it was actually 11. I think you're right, Samuel. It's counting down. So there was 7, there was 9, there was 8.
And then there was Apollo. So it was 11 missions that they had to do before the final land.
No, Apollo 11 might have been the final one.
yes, Apollo 11 was when the US planted a flag, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was a manned mission, but they did a bunch of unmanned missions. I call
You know
this
what's-
bluff, man. I call this bluff. This is going to be the first moon landing. How about that?
This is going to be the. See, I don't know much about moon landing.
No, Apollo 11 wasn't the first manned mission.
So there were multiple manned
Um,
missions. They did the flyby too. And
Yeah,
they-
Apollo 7 at least was a flyby. So basically, like all of this, like the first moon landing was basically like an arms race for like which country will get to the moon first.
yeah.
And so that's like basically why it was almost like a political thing at this
Yeah,
point.
between Russia and US.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But
So-
that kind of fits into the whole. They just made it seem like they landed.
Made it up.
yeah.
And then I think because if I remember my stories right, because America landed first, Russia just gave up because it's like, oh, you've won type of thing. And so
That doesn't sound like Russia.
No, but
Now the I guess the competition is who can go mine all the critical minerals on the moon first. So
I guess now maybe the only thing I would say is maybe because they're critical minerals, that's why there's a lot of urgency to go. But still, like we can predict weather better. We have better gear. We have expensive gear.
yeah,
It should be again. Maybe now they're taking 3 3 missions to get to the moon, and it took them 11 missions last time. Hey, who knows? But this one we actually saw a lot. This
All
one
the pictures, yeah.
we saw the pictures, we saw the fly up, we saw the land back. We even had a call with the prime minister. So that was interesting.
Yeah, now
though.
we have internet, so
Do you know that it was a laser technology they were using to beam like the data back and forth?
really.
Yeah,
so
so it
that's
wasn't
why there
just
was
internet.
a brief moment of when they crossed over to the other side,
Yeah.
they lost connectivity
Yeah.
for 40 minutes or something
Yeah,
like
so it
that.
was a laser connection that had the direct access to Earth that was being used for fast data. But that's cool though. The pictures looked cool. I won't lie, it looked cool.
You guys have not seen pictures before.
No. I've not I've seen like pictures of like the Earth, but it's different when a human being takes it with a camera. It's like okay.
Well, I mean, like we have International Space Station that
Yeah.
takes pictures of the Earth.
It's not a manned Canadian.
It was
iPhone
not Jeremy.
picture.
Jeremy has to take the picture. Shot an iPhone.
By Canada, man. I don't take any other international this thing. I take only Jeremy's pictures. And then
I mean, I think the cool thing was that it was the first time a human being has seen the Earth from that position.
Mm.
So basically, like the moon is in front of the Earth, basically, and they were basically behind the moon. That's the first time. That's like I think the furthest we've gone.
yeah, the furthest.
Yeah.
We've gone away
space.
from the Earth.
Interesting.
I don't think most people like do like interested. Like, obviously, if you dreamed of being an astronaut, like some of these folks did, this was just like for them the highlight of their whole life, like right.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it would be like to go look at the Earth from there. I won't go, but it would be cool
Yeah,
too.
I think I said last week I have not much interest.
Actually, will I go? I think I
don't have
I
much
would.
interest in.
it gives
Being
perspective,
shut out of the
man. It gives perspective. I think it will give a different perspective.
Yeah, I think we already know how, not how
See,
large, but
you
we
might
already
know,
know
but
that
once you
the
see
solar
it-
system is.
Once you see it, it's different from when like you read it in the textbooks and you see it real.
Yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like humans are so
Tiny on the
minute.
I think for me the craziest thing is like being able to see Earth and like it really is like a floating rock in space. And then the fact that we're not all standing at the top of the rock. Like there's people that are standing at the bottom and they're not falling.
Yeah, the
It's
gravitational
Do
pull.
you know when I was a kid and I heard about that, but I could not wrap my head around it for a while.
Yeah,
I couldn't wrap
that's
my
how
head around.
flat Earth theory.
Then when you say it's a round, I'm like, wait, what? It's round. I feel like I was 10 or so, 11.
Yeah, it's round, it's tilted, it's spinning, and it's rotating. I'm like, how?
It's spinning, it's rotating, but it's also moving
and
forward.
it's also moving.
It's
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The
Like the
entire
whole
solar
solar system.
system
Yeah.
is moving forward.
But the question is what forward is.
Yeah, I was like,
Space.
yeah, forward. But what kind of axis are
There's
we-
also like apparently this is getting into my net bag, but like there's apparently like this thing that they call the great attractor, that's all all our measurable like galaxies and stars and planets and everything are just like going in one direction to something, and nobody knows what it is.
Yeah. Another trip to the moon to see where.
Yeah.
Let's see
It's
where
like, that
we're
looks
going.
like a black hole. Let's go see what's there.
Another trip to the moon. Let's go see what it is. Those are the kind of trips that, even though everybody tells you you're going to be back in the next week, you better have like the best scientists, man,
Yeah.
monitoring every. Like, I'm not going to go and do
Yeah,
this
they can be
thing.
monitoring, but once it goes bad, it goes bad.
Nah, man, I'm not going to-
You're gonna be lost in space.
Man, no interstellar for me. I can't. No, but it's interesting. Anyways,
Another thing for me that was underwhelming was like the color of the Earth. Like it
The
did not seem as
blue.
blue or like as
no,
green.
it seemed blue for me.
Like it was the colors I
cloudy.
remember are like very like saturated blues and like it feels like oh there's grass here, like there's greenery, the atmosphere is like the clouds are blue, like you can see the ocean, but like maybe also like there were some of the pictures I saw was like deserty, so it might have been Africa that they were looking at. But like it just seemed so desaturated. I'm like, is this global warming?
They've not put the proper Instagram filter.
Yeah,
That's-
and whoever edited these pictures, it wasn't Jeremy, so
I say it wasn't Jeremy. We trust Jeremy's pictures.
But anyway, shout out to you, man. Canadian Pride. Maybe plant the Canada flag next year. At least that one will be the real moon landing, because whatever landed last time, I don't know.
I wonder if that flag is still in existence.
They will tell you it's because it's 60 years old. That's why.
Yeah,
It's not.
wind blew it away.
The wind blew it away, or aliens came to take it.
Yeah.
Or you go there and you see a whole different flag.
Wow. You see a whole different civilization.
Anyways, shout out to y'all. All right, let's see what else. I think this is good for this week. Let's see if there's another floor crossing this week before we come back.
Please, enough with the floor crossings, please. Mark Carney, please. Stop the backroom deals.
Carney, at this rate, I feel like people are coming to Carney. Also, I heard that Carney doesn't want to win a majority from backroom deals. He wants to do the by-election, get the majority, and have more crossovers.
Sure, after he has done the backroom deals, he will say that, but it's all good.
But anyways, shout out to y'all. Lovely episode 12.